Welcome to Session 1 of the Book of Acts, as we see God establish the church in Acts 1 through 5 through the powerful work of the Holy Spirit in the lives of the apostles. In Acts 1 through 5, we see the brilliant beginnings of the church as God moves into the lives of the apostles and advances His causes. We see Jesus give the Great Commission to make disciples of all nations, baptize them, and teach them to obey everything He has commanded. We see Jesus ascend into heaven in the sight of the apostles to affirm His ongoing humanity and that He lives forever to intercede for us. And then we see the apostles on the day of Pentecost receive the promised Holy Spirit, and their lives were never the same.
The early days of the church are best described by Luke's summary statement in Acts 2:42, where he says that the church devoted itself to the apostles' teaching, to fellowship, to the breaking of bread, and to prayer.
The book of Acts is the sequel to the Gospel of Luke, and the book of Acts tells the story of how the early church, empowered by the Spirit, took the gospel to the ends of the earth.
Acts 1:8 frames the entire book of Acts when it says, "But you will receive the Holy Spirit in power, and He comes upon you, and you'll be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth."
The central message of the book of Acts is the unstoppable progress of the gospel. Jesus said in Matthew 16 that He would build His church, and the gates of Hades would not stand against it. And that's what we see in the book of Acts. As the church, as the early Christians in the power of the Spirit take the gospel, and whenever an obstacle arises against them, the gospel steamrolls through it. The gospel presses forward. Why? Because this is the work of God. This is something God is doing. This is not just the work of man. This is God's work. This is God's salvation in the world.
The book of Acts is titled the Acts of the Apostles, but it would actually be more appropriately named the Acts of the Holy Spirit, because Peter or Paul are not the stars of Acts. The Holy Spirit's the star of Acts. Nothing happens of lasting value unless He is at work in the lives of His people.